Ladies and gentlemen, there's another one. Hello there! Today we're going to look at another drugstore brand that decided to dip their toes into skincare. I decided to take a look at Trend It Up, which is DM Drugstore's own brand, which does kind of like teenage makeup style things. However, they recently came out with a range of skincare products, which is very narrow. However, you gotta start somewhere. So it's like very kind of minimalistic. It is the Clean Philosophy line, which is actually very similar in like the vibe to the Hello Good Stuff line from Essence. They kind of started with the same, idea. In this case, it is kind of like a skincare / skin prep line of products. It's not all purely skincare, as you're going to see. We're dealing with 5 products, and each of them is based around one natural ingredient. It also states how many % of natural ingredients are in the formula. That's why it feels a little bit similar to the Essence products, because they do that too. And another thing is that they're both very affordable. So let's see if they're any good, shall we? We have a makeup remover, a face mist, lip balm, face serum, and primer gel / moisturizer. So we have 5 products. Each is like slightly different. Together they don't really build a routine, but you can all fit them into your routine if you really want to. Just a heads up, I've been testing these products for over a month for sure, maybe longer. I'm not 100% sure, but they've been around for quite a short period of time. But I was very curious to see how they perform and if they're any good. Let's start off with the first one, which is the Lavender Cleanse and Calm. This is a makeup remover. It has very standard packaging. You get 100 milliliters of product, and it does contain lavender, as you can probably tell just by the sole packaging. It is one of those like two-phase ones, so you can clearly see the split in like the more oily part and the more like watery part of the formula. It is very gentle and it doesn't feel all that oily, but from my experience it really depends how well you shake it. So I would really recommend shaking it a lot, because if you do and the two formulas mix really well, then it's not going to feel all that oily on the skin. When it comes to the effectivity of the remover, I find it very like standard. There's not really much to it. I don't use these two-phase makeup removers all that often, because I usually remove everything with like a balm or oil or something. But I kind of, went out of my way to test it out. And I must say it does work pretty well. I do find that it works on waterproof makeup as well, but I did have a little trouble removing my waterproof mascara with it. So I'm not really sure what I stand on that. However, it did remove the rest of my eye makeup pretty well, and on the rest of my face too when I tried it. So I would say it's just a very standard makeup remover. I don't really see any super cool benefits of using this one compared to some other ones that are available in the drugstore. One good thing is that it didn't sting my eyes at all, which is always a good plus. It is ophthalmologically tested and also dermatologically tested, so it really, shouldn't be. We have panthenol and we have the lavender extract, which can be irritating for some people, so if you don't really get along well with lavender, stay away from it. But otherwise, I would say it's quite a nice product. There's really nothing too special about it. I like the size of the packaging though, because 100 milliliters is a perfect plain size if you're traveling for a week. Moving on, we have a face mist. This is the Clean Philosophy Grapefruit Fix and Hydro Spray. This is just a nice teeny tiny cute face mist with 50 milliliters of product. It does smell like grapefruit, but quite like an artificial one. It says that you can use it both as a hydrating spray and also as a makeup fixer, which is always a little tricky with these mists, because they usually, have a lot of hydrating ingredients that are going to disrupt the makeup more than actually set it. And I wouldn't necessarily set my makeup with this. I did try it, but I wasn't really wowed in any way. It does have a beautiful mist. The mist is so fine. Look at that. It's gorgeous. However, when it comes to the actual ingredients, I do have a couple things to say. You do have, glycerin hydrating ingredient. It's literally everywhere nowadays, so that's not a surprise. It is also a fragrance, which was, kind of expected, since it smells like a very artificial grapefruit. But what I specifically don't like here is the denatured alcohol as the third ingredient from the top. So you have water, you have glycerin, and you have drying alcohol. That's just not something you want to be spraying on your face to hydrate it more, because effectively it's not gonna do that. I know that the alcohol evaporates from the surface, and that's why I think they claim it to be a setting spray, because some setting sprays have alcohol and kind of, take advantage of this evaporation to set your makeup. But I don't know, just in my opinion, this doesn't really do all that much. And with alcohol that high up, I don't even really reach for it to like refresh my face with it, because I have plenty other mists that don't have alcohol in them. So I always rather use those than this one. So yeah, you know, maybe without the alcohol and without the whole like fixing makeup gimmick, this would be a little bit better in my opinion. Next we have like an actual skincare product. This is the Clean Philosophy Maracuja Glow Face Serum. I'm not sure how to pronounce that goddamn fruit. It's this beautiful yellow serum. I'm not sure if you can even see it. It does look kind of milky in the bottle, but it's not really milky on the inside. Another weird thing about it is that the hole into the serum is huge. Can you see that? Like, usually the pipette is like really tight in, but in this case, no, not at all. It is supposed to be like a glowy hydrating serum, which is, you know, like a very basic thing. All of these skincare, drugstore lines usually have something like this. When they come out with a serum, it's a very simple one, hydrating one, nothing too complicated, no actives, nothing that can irritate your skin and stuff like that. This is no exception. It's just supposed to be hydrating and make your skin nice and glowy and, you know, hydrated and stuff like that. Super simple. I feel like I have way too many serums like this at this point. But what do you actually have here? Except for, you know, glycerin. Alexa, how do you pronounce urea?
It is pronounced as urea.
Urea, there we go. Which is a pretty well-known like barrier strengthening ingredient, which is also moisturizing, which is great. Then we have allantoin, which is very calming, vitamin E, same story. I would almost call this like, you know, nice for your barrier and hydration. So yeah, I do like that. I think it's something a little bit different, you know, having the urea in the ingredients that's actually helping the barrier. And I love the way this smells. Just anything that smells like passion fruit, I'm really gonna like the scent. There's fragrance, I think, in all of these, which is a little bit, I don't know, like if you want to have like a natural skincare line, why would you put fragrance in it? Because I think people can look at this and be like, oh yeah, there's nothing that can irritate my skin, that's so good. But then you look at it and you're like, oh, fragrance. I don't know, my brain just has problems comprehending that. However, this is a nice serum actually. It's quite lightweight, but it's not like completely watery. I don't really know how to describe the texture, but I quite like it. I would describe it as juicy, which is not really like saying anything about it, but it's a juicy serum and I do quite like it. So next thing I have is a lip balm. I normally don't really give lip balms all that much attention, but this one is like my favorite lip balm I have at the moment. This is the Clean Philosophy Avocado Moist Lip Balm. You had to put the moist in the name, didn't you? It's a lip balm. I quite like the packaging because it comes in like a twist up stick, which is super convenient and it doesn't break as easily as like some of the super cheap like lipstick packaging lip balms that I have. I don't know how much do you get. It doesn't say. Well, that sucks. And it's just a very standard lip balm. It does contain a lot of super hydrating ingredients. I wasn't sure why I like it so much, so I really had to dig into it to see what's like working so well for my super dry lips. It is like nicely thick, like just enough thick for a stick lip balm that you don't have to reapply it all the time. It even lasts through the night, which is like a great indicator for me that this is a good lip balm. Now, speaking of the oils we have, I need notes for this because there are so many. We have castor oil, olive oil, avocado oil, shea butter, coconut oil, cocoa butter, sunflower oil, and a bunch of different waxes, which, you know, all of these things just create a thick as hell emollient layer on your lips, and that's why it works so well, because it keeps in all the moisture and it works perfectly. One thing to note though, some of these oils and butters are quite comedogenic, actually a lot. So if your skin is sensitive to that, or if you're very acne prone, make sure you're not smearing it too far away from your lips, because that could like potentially really hurt your skin. And then we finally arrived to the last product, which is the Clean Philosophy Matcha Awake Primer Gel. It's gorgeous. I love green primers so much. There's just something about a green gel that just attracts me from miles away. But this is technically a primer you can use under your makeup, or as they say, by itself, as a part of your skincare. So this was actually like meant to be a primer slash moisturizer. I wouldn't necessarily recommend it as a moisturizer. For me, this is a little thin, but you know, maybe if you have very oily skin, you do you. Comes in a glass bottle, it has a pump, you have 30 milliliters of product. It is also a fragrance and it's supposed to be primarily hydrating, which it definitely is. I would say this is like, I don't know, along the standard drugstore gel primers that are just supposed to hydrate your face. It does have like a slight stickiness to it, which is probably due to the glycerin and the aloe. However, there's also different things, just like the green leaf water extract, which helps with sebum production. So this is kind of targeted towards, I would say, maybe like normal to oily skin. I don't know, like this primer, I'm very confused who is this for. But I would say that definitely if you have like oilier skin, the green tea leaf extract is good for you. There are no heavy things in the primer and it's definitely very lightweight, still hydrates the face and kind of grips the makeup a little bit. So I can see this work for oily skin, but I cannot speak for it as I don't really have it at the moment. And from my experience, the wear time of my makeup is very similar with this primer and my other like gripping hydrating primers. It does not really give you like a hydrated glowy finish though, so maybe it was meant a little bit more for the oilier skin. I really cannot tell. I didn't find any evidence on that. However, I do think that it's a very good primer in this price range. So this is like a nice alternative to all these like gripping hydrating primers, but it's not as grippy and it doesn't give you as much glow. Let's assess, okay? What do we have? We went over the 5 products. I'm not blown away, to be honest. Not that I expected something more. Yeah, I don't think you can really expect miracles from like makeup brands launching skincare, but I see like a genuine effort in making something more accessible, because Trended Up is kind of like a brand that's targeted more towards younger people and showing them like this very simple arrangement of products that can be used in their skincare routine in case they don't have one. Maybe makes me kind of happy because it does make skincare a little bit more accessible. I find the products very like easy to understand, easy to use. There's no confusion, there are no actives. Technically you cannot go wrong by using these because there's really nothing they're going to like clash with. And yeah, I think that's kind of what they aimed for. The whole clean philosophy gimmick, of course, okay, you know, I'm not a professional, I'm just a consumer that likes to self-educate themselves. But when it comes to this whole natural ingredient, gimmick, I'm not a big fan because it doesn't tell you anything about the product, like clearly anything. It does tell you there's a percentage of natural product. What is the definition of the natural ingredient? Nobody knows. What does it mean? Like, what exactly does it mean? It needs to have some formal definition, like what is this vague stuff? I don't like that. However, coming back to the products, I actually think they did quite a good job, but I'm pretty sure they're going to start adding stuff as soon as they figure out if, people actually like the range and are happy with it and want more. So maybe in the future we'll be looking at more products from them. However, for now, this is it. Thank you very much for watching. Consider subscribing, and if you want to see more videos when I talk about skincare, you can check out the playlist. See ya!